Michael Steele, RNC chair. I'm going to take advantage of this if you don't mind.
Sure.
One more question, because Arlen Specter just left the emergency meeting that Tom Harkin called for on this swine flu. And I want to ask you this. Here we are in this situation. I'm going to switch gears just for a minute talking about the swine flu. It was Republicans that voted against the stimulus money for flu pandemic. We're talking $870 million for pandemic flu preparedness. You guys voted out of the package. Are you regretting that?
Stop it with that. Did we know this at the time of the vote? Now, again, ask yourself, when this package of spending was presented to the Congress and the American people, what was the presentation that was given by this administration? This was to create jobs. This was to restore our economy. It had nothing to do with pandemic flus. It had nothing to do with why pigs stink. It had nothing to do with any of the stuff that we spent money on. So now don't come back and make this link, 6 months after the fact that, you guys voted against this and this is what the money is going to be spent for.
Republicans are saying, hey, look at the Democrats. They have all these vacant positions right now in HHS, DHS, CDC. There's no Surgeon General. It's their fault that we don't have money and we don't know how to react to this flu pandemic. So I think it's Democrats and Republicans pointing the finger at each other, sir.
And that's what the American people don't want. We don't want to get in a situation where we're pointing fingers back and forth at each other on where you don't have people in place or where you voted against the money. What we want to say is, what is the administration going to do about it now? And again, you cannot, in my view, make this link, after the fact that, good thing we voted for this money. But that's not why. This had nothing to do with creating a job 6 months ago when this whole crisis situation was really kicking off. This bill was supposed to be towards giving the small business owner who's about to go out of business, a fighting chance to survive. And it had nothing to do with some of the other things that we're now looking at. So I'm not going to sit here and accept that connection. Is the money there? Yeah, the money would have been there whether the Congress voted for it 6 months ago or not, because we have an emergency situation. And as in all cases, Congress will find a way to fund the needs of the people at the time we're in a crisis situation.
Well, I think that's the bottom line, Chairman, is that, why is it that voters always have to wait for when it becomes a crisis? I think voters just want to know whether it's a pandemic, whether it's flooding in New Orleans.
Absolutely, but it's the priorities. It's priorities. And at the time, the priority was stabilizing the economy and creating jobs. Now the priority is dealing with what is potentially a very serious health issue. And the government, elected officials, have a responsibility to step up and help the states work through this thing. So it's a matter of priorities. And tomorrow, next week, 3 weeks from now, 3 months from now, the priority may be something different because we don't know what tomorrow holds. We can only deal with the here and now, and that's what we were dealing with at the time these spending bills were put before the Congress. And Republicans made a legitimate argument that the money that was being allocated, the trillions of dollars that were being spent, had very little to do with job creation and wealth preservation and everything to do with a checklist of spending that the Democrats wanted to work their way through.